Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 men's basketball season is less than 24 hours away, and for your Maryland Terps, a season last season that underachieved, it underwhelmed a little bit. They were under 500, only 16-17, and a disappointing 7-13 in the Big Ten. A lot of new players, 7 of them to be exact. Kevin Willard's here. We got a 5-star prospect in the big man from Baltimore, Derik Queen, and of course, his former high school teammate, Juju Reese, going into his senior season, the rebounding machine. We're going to talk all about it, preview the season, and where I think they could end up as well. Make sure you slam dunk that subscribe button. Go ahead, leave us a like. Lay up that like button, and make sure you go ahead and let us know how you're feeling down below in the comment section. Go ahead and score a basket on the bell to know when all of the Maryland videos drop. We do football, we're doing basketball, we do Ravens, we do Commanders, we do it all. The Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it, when you need it. Leave your favorite emoji, your predictions for the season, breakout players, anything you would like for me to cover for this team, recruiting news. I got you right here on the Flex Zone. And let's get to it, and let's get into this preview. As I mentioned, this team last season was 16-17, a disappointing 7-13 in the Big Ten. It's not going to get it done with a deep conference that the Big Ten is in basketball. You look at this season, you have 7 new players. You bring back your big man, your rebounding machine, Juju Smith. Can he take that next step? Can he be that dominant force inside, giving you buckets, making his free throws, continuing to rebound and defend? He now has his running mate, former teammate, Derik Queen, the 5-star recruit. I talked about it in the video. He's here. He's ready to do big things. He's already on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar watch list for preseason basketball. Mr. Queen will be a king for the Terps in due time. Trust and believe what I'm saying. We got Derik Queen coming in. We got Malik Washington for football. So good times for the Terps. Last year, this team could not buy a bucket from three-point range. I believe, what did they shoot? They shot just 28.7% on threes and 41.3% overall. You do have transfers coming in. Jacoby Gillespie, he's an offensive efficiency type of guy. Selton Mitchell took a huge step last year as well. He was a big scorer. My boy, Mr. Rice, can't forget about him. Rodney Rice, the sophomore, he comes in. And he did miss all of last season with injury, but he has a lot of potential to score the basketball. And we know what Derik Queen and Julian Reese are going to be. They're going to be easy buckets down low. And Deshawn Harris-Smith, the second-year point guard. No Jahmir Young. He's in a G League, so it's not a one-man show for the Terps anymore. They have a lot of different ways they can beat you, inside, outside, the Twin Towers down below. I think they could definitely show what they're made of and make the defense have to respect what they do, because you have to double them or bring help that leaves it for your shooters. And all you got to do is knock down the three. Now, it's easier said than done, and I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, well, they're just going to be able to make threes and, oh, everything's going to be all right. No, the Big Ten is tough. Rutgers is really, really good this season. Michigan had a down year. Penn State had kind of a down year. Minnesota had a down year. The Ohio State had a down year, 9-11. Iowa even had a down year in the Big Ten. I'm just going over the Big Ten. Iowa was 10-10. Michigan State 10-10. Ohio State, Minnesota, Penn State 9-11. Maryland, Rutgers 7-13. Michigan 3-17. Like I said, Maryland was one game under 500. I believe they had like 9 games or so where they lost by 5 points or less. If you just win 4 or 5 of those games of those 9, you're going to put yourself at over 20 wins, thus making yourself more attractive to the committee. I know Joe Lenardi, who does a great job with his bracketology, has Maryland at a 10 or 11 seed, which I could see. I could see them being one of those first 4 teams that play on that Tuesday or Wednesday before the actual tournament begins, with the expansion of now 68 teams. I think this team, no doubt, should be in the NCAA tournament. I think at minimum in the NCAA tournament, and I don't expect anything less because this team is talented. They have the talent. I'm really, really excited to see how Kevin Willard uses Derik Queen and Juju. I think that will really define the season, how those two play together, and obviously the 3-point shooting as well. This team will be more up tempo. This team will push the pace a little bit more. They didn't have an identity last year. They didn't have a formula for success, and they were really underrated defensively. They were pretty stout. They were number 14 in Ken Palm's defensive ratings, but one man show, hero ball, pretty much one, what is it, high low? What is it, one high, four high, whatever. He's playing ISO ball, and Jahmir Young was pretty much the offense last year. So it's going to be intriguing to see. They have a trio, as I mentioned, of guards to put alongside the front court of Reese and Queen, probably as good as any in the nation. We know that this team, like I said, are they a 10 or 11 seed? Yes. I'm guessing looking at the Big Ten, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan State, Iowa. Could Maryland get to maybe where Wisconsin was at 11-9, 10-10? I could see that. I really think this team really should no less be in the NCAA tournament, but that's really setting our expectations low. They've been in one Sweet 16 since 2003. That is unacceptable. The Mark Turgeon dark days, they took them there once. And honestly, this team needs to start developing with guys like Derik Queen. You get his teammate Malachi Palmer, who I like a lot, in here as well. And I think it's going to be very, very imperative for the next year or two for this team to improve. If you make the tournament this year, by 2025, 2026, we need to be looking at this team as a perennial top 20 team in the country. So it's put up or shut up for Kevin Willard. Like I said with Mike Locksley, I'm giving Mike Locksley grace through next year. And I'm giving Kevin Willard a little bit of grace through next year as well because he does have some guys he's working on, he's bringing in locally and throughout the country, recruiting-wise as well. Now, they do play Manhattan tomorrow. That is the first game, 7 p.m. in College Park. Manhattan struggled with rebounding last season, so I expect the Terps to dominate them down below. I expect the Terps to win a lot of the rebounding battles most night, and I think that could be the key to them at least getting over 20 wins. I think that is a minimum expectation for them to at least, go 20-14, play 34 games? Yeah, they need to get to at least 20 wins. I'd say at least 21, 22, but 20 at the minimum. You look at a team like Michigan State, they were 20-15. Could the Terps get somewhere around there? I could see that. Could they get to maybe where Wisconsin was, 22-14? I could see 20 to 22 wins being realistic in my opinion. And I really, really, really look out for Elijah Carey. They have a freshman forward, 6'8", wears number 6. He was a 3-star recruit from Jersey, number 9 ranked prospect in New Jersey. He averaged 13.8 and 8.7 rebounds in his senior season. They have Jaden Watson, a sophomore guard, 6'2", 2.2 steals a game last year. So defensively, he can bring it. And Shaquille Bender, senior guard, 6'2". He averaged 13.8 a game, but shot only 38.1. So doesn't really get a lot of assists, only had 1.6. So he's looking like a Jahmir Young type, looking to get his shot. But they're coached by John Gallagher in his second year, and they were 7-23 last year, 4-16 in the MAC. You got to handle these guys accordingly. You got to beat them. Honestly, you need to beat them by at least 15 points. Because looking at the numbers, let's look at the spread. Maryland is, they're 25-point favorites. I said 15. 15-20. They should beat them by 15-20. We heard the reports, the rumors about what they did in the scrimmages that didn't happen. Seton Hall, some other teams. They look a lot better offensively, more up-tempo, can shoot the ball a little bit better. And this team, like I said, with the Twin Towers down below, I think they can win the rebounding battle a lot. And I think they can really, really impose their will and dominate these teams that play small ball. Draw fouls, get teams in foul trouble, create opportunities for open three-pointers and open mid-range jumpers for the Terps. Last season, as I mentioned, the Terps were under 500. I need at least 20 to 22 wins. Like I said, I think this is probably a first 4-team a 10 or 11 seed. Maybe they could get into the second or third round of the Big Ten tournament, maybe. That could help out as well. Like I said, the Big Ten is wide open. I think Purdue, well, Rutgers and Purdue are probably the two teams that are favorited, but could Maryland be in that top five potentially? Like I said, a lot of close losses, and that could come down to coaching and execution. So, Willard, we're going to be watching how you execute and draw up plays in the winning time, 5 minutes or less. It's going to be very, very imperative. But looking at the roster, Jacoby Gillespie, he's going to be in a rotation. Rodney Rice, Jahari Long, Braden Pierce, Deshawn Harris-Smith, Tafara Gapare, Malachi Palmer, Jay Young, Selton Mitchell, Julian Reese, Chance Stevens, Jordan Geronimo. He could be another swing guy, fifth-year senior off of the bench. Derik Queen, Lucas Sotel, Ben Murphy. Well, I don't know. Geronimo could start. I know Queen and Juju and Deshawn Harris-Smith are probably going to be three people that start. Could we see Gillespie and Rice play? That could happen too. We could go with a three guard lineup, two bigs. It'll be interesting to see how Willard uses his rotations throughout the season. Because I think going 7-8 deep is imperative, especially when you have bigs like Queen and Smith. The key for them is going to be to stay out of foul trouble, because outside of them, Juju is 6'9", Reese is Reese is 6'9", and Queen is 6'10". So really, outside of them, the next biggest guy you got is Geronimo, and he's 6'7". So we'll see what happens there. He's 6'6". So we'll see. We shall see. We'll let it play out. But you got Manhattan to start. Should win that. They're 25-point favorites. I expect a 15 to 20-point win. Then you got Mount St. Mary's on the 8th. They should be able to win that. Then you got Florida A&M. You should be able to win that. First test will be the 15th, November 15th, 8 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 against number 18 Marquette and Shaka Smart. That's going to be tough. You got, who else do you play? You got Ohio State, December 4th. Purdue, number 14 in the country, as I mentioned, at Purdue, 12-8. That's going to be a big game. You play Syracuse. You play at Washington, at Oregon. Tough trips going west. That's January 2nd and January 5th, respectively. Those are going to be tough. You got UCLA coming here again. That's not going to be easy. They're number 22 in the country. It's going to be some big games. You got at Indiana. You got your Big Ten. You got Rutgers. You got a lot of tough tests, especially the back half of the year. You have a lot of home games early. You really play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 home games in a row before you're on the road. And then you kind of have a lot of road games in the back half of the season. So it's going to be intriguing to see how they start, because I think if they can start fast, maybe you go 6-1, 7-1, 10-2, 11-3. They can really build some momentum, because the second half of the schedule is really, really tough. A lot of road games, a lot of travel at Michigan, at Penn State, as I mentioned, at Washington, at Oregon. Not an easy trip. You got Rutgers, you got Purdue, you play Indiana. So it's not going to be easy. Shout out to Indiana. They'll probably be decent in the Big Ten as well. I say 20 to 22 wins. I think at least maybe getting 2 wins in the Big Ten tournament and being a 10 or 11 seed, probably playing on that first 4 night, Tuesday or Wednesday, and winning a game possibly to get into the tournament, to play a 7 or an 8 seed or a 6 seed. This team, I think, has the capability to maybe get to a tournament and win a game if they can play to their potential. If Derik Queen is who we think he is going to become, outside of Cooper Flagg, maybe one of the 5 to 10 best freshmen in the country, he's on the watch list. He's going to get a lot of love. Freshman, All-American potentially. If he can be who he is believed to be, along with Juju, and they can knock down some shots, I could see this team winning 20-22 games and being in contention for that Big Ten tournament to make a run maybe and get into the actuality of the tournament. But no, I don't see a Sweet 16. I don't see a Cinderella run. I don't see anything too crazy happening. But I think it's very, very important, very, very imperative for this team to start fast. Kevin Willard to use his rotations wisely. Guys to rebound, stay out of foul trouble, continue that defensive intensity, play up tempo, and you got to knock down your shots when you have the opportunity. They shot 30%. They can shoot maybe 37, 38%. That would go a long way. And This team is put up or shut up. You got a 5-star recruit. You got his teammate Malachi Palmer. You got some guys. You got some guys that are doing things that you can work with offensively, and you have a defensive, I think, mentality. That will only get better with Queen and Juju down there putting their hands up. They're going to get a lot of blocks. They're going to rebound, and they're going to just ultra shots, make guys miss. So it will be intriguing to see how that plays out. But really, I'm intrigued. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see how it plays out. College basketball is back. And honestly, before you know it, we'll be talking about March Madness and getting ready for the tournament as we're getting ready to put up our Christmas tree in a little bit over a month. But sound off below in the comment section. Let me know your predictions for the season. How are you feeling? Are you excited? They should be better than Maryland football if that makes you feel any better. I like Willard. I like what he's done recruiting-wise. Now he has to take the pieces of the puzzle and put them together correctly on the court. Play up tempo, play fast, use your guard play. And it's not a one-man gang. So some days Queen may have 20. Some days Reese may have 15. Some days you may have Deshawn Harris-Smith with 20. It's going to be a committee of guys that can beat you, which I love because it's not just one guy you have to key in on. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see Derik Queen play college basketball with his teammate Julian Reese, the Twin Towers, to play with Malachi Palmer, Deshawn Harris-Smith, Geronimo. You got guys coming in. What does Rodney Rice bring after injury? Jacoby Gillespie. Transfers. You brought in some guys. Space and pace. That's very intriguing. And I'll see what the Terps do. I'm intrigued. Make sure you guys slam dunk that subscribe button, lay up that like button, sound off below, hit that bell, go ahead, block that bell for all Maryland Terps videos. We'll be previewing the Maryland football-Oregon game. We will be previewing the rest of their season, and of course, throughout the basketball season, recruiting news, anything that comes out, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Maybe something at least once a week as the season gets going. A lot of home games for the Terps. Start fast, play with tempo, and defend like you did last year. And you got shot blockers, so you're going to have the opportunity to be even better defensively. But God's favorite host, Terpsville, Flex Zone family, sound off below. Let me know your thoughts on the college basketball season, the Maryland Terps. Does UConn go for a three-peat? Rutgers looks good with a lot of lottery picks. Cooper Flag, what does he do at Duke? It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see college basketball tip off. We got NBA in full swing. We got baseball just ended. Football is in week 9, heading into week 10. And we're heading into the holiday season, the end of 2024, another year in the books. Sound off below. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe, hit the like button. Maryland Terps basketball is back. And you know I'm back with you here on the Flex Zone podcast. Have a good night. I'll see you in the next video. Sound off below. Let me know your thoughts on the season. And if you even care, leave your favorite emoji. Leave something. Maryland, 20-22 wins. Potentially a 10 or 11 seed, first 4, maybe win a game or 2 in the NCAA tournament. Maybe shock the world. Maybe get to the Sweet 16 somehow. That would be a overachieving season, and that would really make Kevin Willard look good. But I think they can get at least to the first 4, maybe win a game there. Maybe win that first round matchup. Gets to round of 32. We'll take that. Round of 32, that'll do. And it'll do what you here on the Flex Zone. Thank you. Peace. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Go Maryland Terps. Let's see what happens. Maryland Oregon preview coming this week for football, and of course basketball reactions throughout the season on your mothership, the flagship, the Flex Zone podcast. For all your Terps coverage and more, God's favorite host signing off. Peace. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.